I have never really posted anything on Reddit, and I have always enjoyed scrolling through the posts or content that appeal to me. I have never seen other sites where people are willing to share their experiences, horrible or otherwise, and actually find people that can relate or give their honest opinion in a candid and honest way. My girlfriend and I met at a college party. She was a freshman and I was a senior. We were both drunk and went home together. After that, we became friends with benefits. Then our relationship turned serious. Needless to say, our relationship initially was not the healthiest, as we are both coming out of an abusive relationship. I had been on a 1-year-long relationship before meeting her. The relationship I had before meeting her was toxic, to say the least. I finally grew some balls and left my previous girlfriend after 3 years because she had cheated on me. I forgave her, and then it happened again. At that point, I was hurt and ended up sleeping with almost all her friends. Honestly, her friends initiated it with me, and once I lost my trust in her, it was easy to justify it in my own mind. When the initial toxic relationship ended, I was very adamant about not getting into a serious relationship. But when I met this girl, she wasn't like the rest of my one-night stand. I felt a deeper connection with her. The more I got to know her, the more I liked her. It was usually the other way around. She herself was trying to get out of an abusive relationship with an ex-boyfriend who physically abused her. She described an incident where she just moved in with her boyfriend after graduating high school. Her ex-boyfriend physically assaulted her, all because she came back from a trip with friends and told him to keep the apartment clean, telling him how unhappy she was with the state of the apartment. She was working on expressing her feelings before going nuclear, something she was doing for them. He then got upset and did his usual thing, telling her that he's taking his things and he's done. She asked him not to take things and to just leave, but it devolved into him putting his hands on her, choking her out several times till she nearly passed out and spitting blood. At some point, she started defending herself by pushing him off or punching him, but she was significantly smaller, so it wasn't worth much. He punched her in the face, arms, and legs, and was pretty sure her nose was broken. As any normal person would expect, she broke up with her ex-boyfriend, but never filed any charges against him. When I asked her why she didn't press charges, she said that she wanted it to go away. I didn't ask her any more questions about it, because I figured that must be a traumatic experience for her. My one and only rule after my first real horrible relationship was don't break my heart. That was literally the only thing I ever told her. I was older than her when we met, and I told her I would never be jealous or try to control her. But if she ever broke my heart or betrayed me, I would leave immediately. It was literally my one rule. Never told her she can't go out with friends or go and party. I would never give her a hard time partying or having a good time. We both plowed through our layer of trauma to find real love, and I was never unfaithful to her. I made a point to be completely honest with her. I had already seen the other side and was determined not to repeat the same mistakes. After 3 years of dating, she graduated and found a job close to my apartment, so she moved in with me, and I added her name on my lease. Her job was close to my apartment, so moving in with me was really convenient for her. Moreover, she had messed up her credit in the past, and it was difficult for her to get into a good apartment. She started working with a coworker that practiced a fundamentalist view in an evangelical Christian sect, and they would be talking about religion, and she would preach to her. When my girlfriend comes home, all she wants to talk about was the Bible and preaching the gospel. Then she became religious overnight and started going to church. Initially, I felt like her conversion to this sect of Christianity was a means to cope with the stress and trauma from her previous relationship. We had a philosophical debate about life, whether or not mankind have an overarching objective purpose in the universe. She couldn't accept the premise that life had no objective purpose, and she has to believe in something. In short, I think she was using the good versus evil struggle imposed by Christianity as a means to give her life, and by extension, society, a higher purpose. She also claimed that she converted to this particular sect of Christianity because the version of heaven that she was told as a child was wrong, and that she now had an incentive to get into heaven. From what she told me, she was indoctrinated into the faith as a child, and most of her authority figures were Christians. As such, she feels comfortable in going back to a belief system that she was raised upon. as it provides some degree of stability. At first, I didn't know what to make of it. I wasn't a religious person, and I feared that she would pressure me to join the religion and impose her belief on me. The first thing I noticed was that she stopped hanging out with her best friend. She stopped drinking and was trying to get me to stop drinking as well, which didn't make sense to me because, if I recall correctly, Jesus did change water to wine, so Jesus encouraged drinking. But this argument didn't sit well with her. I didn't mind giving up drinking because it was all around a positive thing, but she continued to move the goalpost until she was debating whether we should remain sexually active since we haven't gotten married. That was where I drew the line, and she understood that. I was too scared that her behavior would change as she interacted with more Christian fundamentalists. Her best friend and I would talk on the phone sometimes, but it became frequent since the sudden change in my girlfriend. She would call me telling me that my girlfriend is pressuring her to go to church with her and judging her on things both of them were doing in their past. We both found solace in the fact that we share stories about my girlfriend from our shared experiences with her. Then one night, my girlfriend woke up crying and said she had so much on her mind, and we went back to bed because she didn't want to say anymore. Thinking she was having one of her spiritual episodes that I was starting to get used to, I didn't think anything of it. The next day, she said she wanted to tell me something, but was scared it would change everything and how I see her. And she's worried that if she told me, it might make me see her differently, and that it was the old her, and that sinful person is no more. In my gut, I knew what she was about to say. I helped ease her along and straight up said, "I think I know where this is going. Were you with someone else?" She nodded and told me that about a year ago, her ex-boyfriend that physically assaulted her reached out to her. They started talking about getting back together. She turned him down though, but they slept together a handful of times before she rejected him. Her confession knocked me off my socks. I couldn't believe that not only did she cheat, but who she cheated on me with. She claimed that this started eating her up inside, and she couldn't open herself to God, why she was harboring this guilt in her heart. The way she made it seem like I was just going to forgive her and praise her for being honest. This happened a year ago or so for her, but for me, it's fresh. It's another trauma all over again that will take a hell of a lot of time to process. It's also something that I will never get over if I choose to stay in this relationship. She went against the one stipulation I had and only confessed because of her newfound religion. The whole foundation of our relationship was rocked to the core. I asked her what she expects me to do, and she said that I should forgive her because it happened so long ago, and they dated for a long time, and in the end, she chose me instead of him. I told her that if I had known about the cheating at the time it happened, I would have broken up with her. I am not the best at communicating how I actually feel all the time. My dad is an old school guy, and that was never really an option for me growing up. She just had this idea that I was going to just accept her cheating and thank her for being honest. I tried to get some answers from her, especially why is it that she cheated with a boyfriend that physically assaulted her and almost beat her to death, and she tried to play down the physical assault like she was trying to protect him. When I pushed her for more detail, she kept apologizing and telling me that she has apologized and we should leave it at that and forge a new future ahead. I felt like she was stonewalling me, like her newfound religion gave her this confidence, like she's untouchable, and what she does to hurt others doesn't matter. To add to that, she even tried to convince me to attend her church, like I was the one that needed forgiveness. I was stunned. I felt betrayed in the worst way. Her apology was not from the depth of her heart. It was like she felt like it was her old self that cheated on me. Therefore, she shouldn't be responsible for it. Maybe that's what the people in her church told her. I called her now former best friend and told her what my girlfriend just confessed to. Then her friend shocked me when she started spilling the beans, saying that she was aware of the affair and that it was premeditated. It wasn't something that just happened by accident. She claimed that she was shocked that she would even spend time with her ex after how he treated her and how she thought I was too good for her. After speaking with her former best friend on the phone, it was clear that she was warned, but carried on the affair with her abusive ex. I wanted to hurt her in the worst way. I wanted an exit revenge. I felt like walking away would be too easy. I wanted her to feel something. The old me would have done what I did to my ex-girlfriend that cheated on me, which is to sleep with all her friends. Well, I am still the old me, unlike my cheating girlfriend that keeps denying her past and won't take responsibility for what she did in her past. I decided to take revenge on her. I knew her girlfriend had a crush on me since I started dating my girlfriend, but I never acted on it. She and my girlfriend are no longer close as they used to be, so they didn't talk on the phone all the time. One Saturday evening, my girlfriend went to church, so I invited her friend over for some drinks, telling her that my girlfriend was out of town. I made sure I left the front door ajar. We started talking about my girlfriend cheating on me with her abusive ex, and one other time that I didn't know about. I have already made up my mind that our relationship is over. I initiated a kiss with her friend. She reciprocated as predicted. Then we took it to the bedroom I shared with my girlfriend. I went super extra on the ex department to prolong it as much as possible. I didn't care at this point about getting caught because that's what I wanted. It was unfortunate that her friend wasn't in on the revenge. Her friend was riding me when she suddenly jumped off me as my girlfriend entered the bedroom screaming. My girlfriend apparently walked through the ajar door and caught me banging her friend as I had planned. She went crazy, back to her old self. She attacked her friend, throwing punches at her as I pulled her away to give her friend enough time to take her things and leave. After her friend left, she turned to me and asked me why I did this to her. I told her that I could say the same thing a week ago, and I used the same words that she used as an excuse. She tried to tell me that I did it out of revenge, so it doesn't count. She told me that out of everyone else, I shouldn't have done it with her best friend. I responded that out of everyone else, she shouldn't have done it with an abusive ex-boyfriend. She said she regretted confessing to me as I am now using it against her. I told her that she should be ready to endure the consequences of cheating. She later said that now that we are even, we would break up. Both of our names are on the lease, and it would be a huge financial hit if she had to pay off the rent by herself. Since the lease ends in 4 months, she wanted us to separate after that. I agreed. I slept in the living room that night since she was upset at me. The following day, after she went to church, I packed everything in the house, including the mattress and box spring, gifts, and everything that belongs to both of us, and I moved everything into storage. The only thing I left in the apartment was her personal belongings. When she came back from church, she started blowing up my phone, leaving voice messages, threatening to get the police involved for stealing her things. I didn't steal her things. Most of the things she claimed are hers were gifts that I bought for her, or things that belongs to both of us. The reason why she was mad was because she can't move easily, because her work is closer to the apartment, and her credit is not good enough to rent a place in a good neighborhood. After she couldn't get in touch with me, she called my family members and told them that I stole from her, and she caught me with her best friend. She didn't mention what part she played in this. Many people believed her because of my past, but I didn't care. I'm just glad that she finally felt as hurt as much as I did for her betrayal. Her friend wanted to continue the relationship with me, but I didn't think it was a good idea, as she reminded me of my ex-girlfriend, and she was aware of her affair but kept quiet, which is understandable, and I don't hold it against her. But I still want a clean slate. My girlfriend continued with her religion for 1 more year. Then all of a sudden, I started seeing pictures of her on social media drinking again. I was glad she found her religion and exposed herself. Otherwise, I would have created a family with a cheating harlot. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get some reaction in the comment section. Thank you and have a wonderful day.